Greetings, everyone. Here we are back again. I know our weeks are very busy, but I appreciate that you come and take the time to come to the study, not for me, but for us, so that we learn together, so that we draw closer to God, so that we understand Him and our place here much better. That way, when we are out and about, we have answers for people because we live life. We don't just follow a pattern, dress like this, talk like this, do this at this time, do that. There is more to being a Christ follower than rote repetition at certain times and places. Today, in the study, we're going to be in 1 Samuel. It's in the Old Testament. If you find Chronicles, just keep going back. Got Kings, 1st Kings, 2 Samuel, 1 Samuel, 1 Samuel chapter 1. And again, you know what I'm saying. I don't even need to say anything. And if you've been here any amount of time, you know I'm telling you to get out your Bibles so you can read this for yourself. We're going to be in Samuel chapter 1, and we're going to be looking at verses 11 through 17. So, ready, set, go. Hannah is talking. She's praying to the Lord here, and she says, Eternal One, Commander of heavenly armies, if only you will look down at the misery of your servant and remember me. Don't forget me, and give your servant a son. Then I promise I will devote the boy to your service as a Nazirite all the days of his life. He will never touch wine or other strong drink. No razor will ever cut his hair. As she prayed silently before the Eternal One, the priest Eli watched her mouth. Hannah's lips were moving, but since she was praying silently, he could not hear her words. So Eli thought she was drunk. And Eli accosts Hannah as she's kneeling there praying, pouring her heart out to the Lord. Little backdrop for Hannah. She is the wife of Elkanah. Elkanah has two wives. One of them is barren sons, left and right, and Hannah hasn't borne anything. And she is just feeling desperate. She's feeling judged. She's feeling like she has no purpose. And so she comes and pours out her heart here to the Lord, which is pretty amazing in this Old Testament. Even in the New Testament, because in the societies here, women are held, they don't have rights like we think of now. We don't even, we don't have to explain that to anybody in the United States anyway, that, hey, women have rights. Yeah, everybody knows that. This person has rights. Everybody has rights. It's like the preamble says, we have these rights, inalienable rights. We have them. Hannah here is, like I said, she pours her heart out. And Eli comes and he accosts her. How long are you going to continue drinking, making a spectacle of yourself? Stop drinking wine and sober up. So apparently he's used to seeing a lot of women come up there praying, men too, and they're drunk. And that's not cool. You don't come up there all out of your mind, because this is serious business, talking to the Lord and pouring your heart out to Him. That's not something that's just frivolous. And so Hannah, I can't even imagine. I mean, she's coming there to the tabernacle. Her spirit is just shattered because she wants to serve the Lord, and she believes, she's convicted that part of her serving the Lord. Now, I'm not saying every woman should do this. I'm saying this is how Hannah feels. And no matter what, if you're going to say, well, it's a patriarchal society, all that, throw all that to the side, because that's just a distraction for what we're looking at here. We're concentrating on the fact that Hannah wants, every fiber of her being to be closer to the Lord, to serve Him. And she realizes, I have no sons. None. I haven't had any children. And so she comes and prays her heart out. And Eli comes and just thrashes her with his words. And I can't even imagine, she was already there, just shattered. And then Eli's standing up over the top of her. But the Lord gives her the strength. And in verse 15, we see Hannah speaks to Eli the priest. My Lord, I am not drunk on wine or any strong drink. I am just a woman with a wounded spirit. I have been pouring out the pain in my soul before the Eternal One. Please don't consider your servant some worthless woman, just because I have been speaking for so long out of worry and exasperation. She states her case. She feels that freedom. And shouldn't we all feel that freedom inside of God's church? That's the whole point, is the freedom. Like Paul says in Galatians 5:1, it is for freedom that Christ set us free. But she feels the freedom here. She feels safe enough. Even though he's coming down on her, she's like, okay. She's like, I understand. Maybe I look like this. But I'm going to explain to him. And she does. I'm just a woman with a wounded spirit. I've been pouring out the pain in my soul before the Eternal. Think about that for yourself. Have you been there before? Have you had a wounded spirit? Have you poured out your pain before the Lord? A lot of us have not. And I'm not saying, hey, you should go seek out and get some pain so you can pour that out to the Lord. What I am saying is, we are American Christians. We are far too conditioned to, I'm fine. Of course I'm fine. I'm very fine. Everything is A-okay. And inside you're falling to pieces. You're shattered. You're pouring your pain out to the Lord. But we need, as Christians, we need to be able to feel safe. And I'm not just going to tell you, hey, run to the church and do this. You should not run to the church and do this if you do not feel that the church is safe. Because Hannah felt, I am safe here. I am in the Lord's presence. I am honestly pouring out my pain before the Lord. I'm okay. And that is amazing that this is communicated to us, that a woman is doing this in the Old Testament. But we are not done. Please don't consider your servant some worthless woman just because I have been speaking for so long, out of worry and exasperation. I just wanted to repeat that again. And Eli, I can't even imagine. I mean, we don't get to look at his face here, but I'm just imagining. You imagine too. He feels a little embarrassed, maybe a lot embarrassed, because she says, Eli, you're the priest. I trust you. I'm going to tell you what the deal is here. Because if she didn't trust him, she would have just left. But she trusted him. She said, no, I'm going to explain to him, because I want him to be praying with me and for me. Not that Eli has magic powers, but that this is his calling. He's a priest at the tabernacle of the Lord. And so he's there because he believes God speaks. She's there because she desperately wants God to speak. I think Hannah knows, but I really want us to get how she feels safe to pour out her pain, because that, dear friends, is what the church is supposed to be like. It should be an atmosphere. It should be a people where it is safe. That when you have something on your heart, you feel it's perfectly normal and fine. just to pour out my heart before the Lord, pour out my pain. And if maybe you're part of a church that has the little praying kneelers there in front, the little bench, maybe you're not. Either which way, when I was first growing up, I was not a part of a church with a bench, the prayer bench, and now I am. I prefer the prayer bench. I prefer they never be taken down. I want them to stay right where they're at because I want the message. I think our pastor, I think our whole church wants to communicate this is a safe place. See these prayer things up here? They're not so you can go up there and look a certain way and bow just right. It's telling you, we want you to know. We know that God wants you to feel safe and to come and pour your heart out. He wants to listen. He wants to help make things better. And as you're going through this next week, think about for yourself. Are you holding pain way in here? Because you've been saying, I'm fine, I'm okay. So many weeks, so many months, so many years. It's just a reflex, but you know it's just a lie. I'm not saying tell everybody, because everybody is not meant to know everything about you. But if you feel safe with someone, that person you could tell if you choose to do so. You really should have at least one other person knowing your pain, praying with you so that you'll stay strong, because you realize, hey, if I'm pouring out my pain, if I've got all this shatteredness, I'm going to really need a prayer partner, somebody to be praying for me, so that when this all starts wearing me down, they'll be praying for me, and I'll know that. And so when things try to tear me down, it's not that that thought all becomes joyful and happy. It doesn't. But what happens then in that moment is that you know, because you have made this covenant with this other person, that they're praying for you. And so you know, I am not going to fall. Ecclesiastes says the same thing. Better two together, so if one falls, the other can help them up. In that, and it goes on and on with benefits of two is better than one. But this week, you think about yourself, but just like we do every week, look out. Because there may be someone there that desperately needs to pour their heart out. And you can tell the Lord, I'm available, Lord. Use me here. And good news, God will. He will show you the way. He's not going to pick you up like a marionette and move you. He's going to say, you asked, I'm delivering. That person over there, you need to walk over and say hello. They really could use somebody to listen. And so you just have to understand, hey, this isn't a magic formula. I'm not going to go and all of a sudden they just trust me and spill their guts to me. That doesn't happen. It's going to take time. And we always forget that part. When you look at Bible stories, you're like, all these big gaps of time in there, but the story goes just like it all happens at once. And it's not true. Moses was 40 years shepherding for Jethro. And then he was ready to do and to serve the Lord. I'm not saying he hadn't been before. I'm just saying that for each of us, we have to be prepared. God doesn't in here twisting us around. You, me, we go through these life situations and we learn. And more than just learning, we feel that compassion building, because God is full of compassion for us, for everyone. And if we can be God's hands and feet, if we can just sit with somebody and listen, you don't even have to say anything. Maybe I just got to open the valve. If you've never been in that situation, opening the valve can be very freeing. And so this week, be looking out. Ask God, where am I needed, Lord? Where can I really help? Because I know this is what I see in my life, how you prepared me. Be ready, be joyful, and share that with anybody and everybody you feel safe to do so. I'll see you next week.